Okay, welcome back everyone. This is B-Bell Dan, and this is actually part two of the USS Franklin tutorial. Disregard everything that you might probably hear in this episode, because as you probably remember from the first episode was that my first part, which I intended to be about an hour long, ended up being almost 2 hours long, a little over an hour and a half. It was 2 hours after I cut it down and went down to an hour and a half. So I decided to cut it again and make it into two separate parts. So I'm going to pick this up right where we left off. So once I get done with the narration, and the video should clear up, and we should enter in right back where we left off in the last episode. And the next two episodes are going to be released as part three and part four. So once again, I apologize for the confusion and everything, but enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and jump straight into part two of the USS Franklin. Shift select there, see it goes that way. So if I wanted to go along this edge loop, I gotta select that. So I'm going to select all of those and press GG. Move that along there. We'll see what I'm doing. I'm going to press A, Control V, and I'm going to double. So any vertices that are intersecting in the exact same spot are removed. And here I'm going to delete these two edges and put in those two, there. There we go. And we're supposed to do the same thing from front as well. Let's go back to the right side so we can see. So let's do that same thing. So we go here, at about there's where we want it. And just repeat the same process. Select that vertice, press, hold down Shift, Control. I'm sorry, not Shift. I apologize. It is Control. So Control, select all those vertices. GG twice, move everything up to there. A, Control V, doubles. Now I can go ahead and select those two edges. Now we press Shift if we want to hold more. I want to select more. Go. It's not quite smoothed out, but it's getting there, and that's actually looking a lot better. So let's see if we can probably go ahead and try to get all these basics all done. Let me find my image from the back. That's not a good image of the back. Oh, there's a good image of the back. Okay, yeah, so it looks like these are actually going down to the connecting to the bottom. It probably should be able to see it if we look right. Yep, that they are. Let's go ahead and select that edge and flatten that out with that one a little. All right. Okay, right there. Yeah, and right, oops, I can't, oh, God, that's a separate image. I can't that image. There's all these little details here, which we'll add in a little bit later. We'll probably get that in before I stop this particular episode. And tell you what, let's go ahead and leave that there for right now, because let's go ahead and let's work on the top. We're almost done with the basics of the ship. Okay, see if we can go ahead and get that taken care of. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm actually going to borrow this. Control E, select this edge loop. I'm going to do a Shift D. So I replicate this. So I just basically copied that edge loop, and I am going to do a P, separate that selection. So now it is its own separate mesh, as you can see here. So if I go into edit mode here, now I can work on everything here. I can extrude out, bring that up. Okay, that's not, we find a better image. Okay. Oops. Actually, before I do that, let me go ahead and apply this mirror modifier so I can. Reason why I want to apply the mirror modifier because if I scale things here, see it gets all wonky. Now, I could also make sure that my cursor is centered and tell it that I want to everything along the 3D cursor, and that will help scale everything better. But I got to make sure that that cursor is dead center. Sometimes it's just easier if you go ahead and just apply that modifier because you can always go back in and reapply it. So why I'm doing that is because actually here, actually, well, let's go ahead and just do this. So, oops, no, I don't want that anymore. I want the individual origins, scale. Now extrude that up a little bit. So all of this is just extrusions, just building this up slowly and slowly but surely. Okay, we got that. All right, there. There. Actually, this lower edge is supposed to be out a little bit. Scale that just a little. There. Control top. Okay, extrude. Oops. Okay, just ever so slightly. Bring it there. Extrude. Going back and forth between my reference image on this. All right, I think I got it figured out, but once again, we can always go in and edit it. So let's go ahead and do, once again, all Alt A, let's do Control F, shade smooth, and we should have all that put into play. And just to make sure, Control N to make sure that all of our normals are facing out in the right direction. And yeah, from that angle, it's starting to kind of look more like it, but we've got a lot more details that we got to work on because once we get up into this back area, it's not a complete circle. It kind of flattens out a little bit. Let's go up back into our side view. I don't know if I'll be able to see a whole lot from there. See a little bit. And back into our edit mode. Now, it looks like that right about in this area, this actually kind of comes out a little bit. That actually, no, no, I take that back. I'm sorry. What we're wanting is only a few of, like I think only this bottom section, be doing that. That top section we want to leave alone for. Let's go ahead and, oops, there we go there. Let me go ahead and select all these. All right, so now we do that, and now we select all that. GY. Let me make sure. Is that the only area? Nope. There's one more area above that. I want to select these as well. Select all of these, and I'll probably go ahead and apply the mirror modifier back on here again eventually. Let's go ahead and get this squared away. You go GY. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, this top portion doesn't look to be very drawn accurate. So, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. All right. So once we get about to there, it's more like it's right. I see it. right about there. Actually, we'll go right about there. Oops. Okay, I can see it now. I want to scale that and add. There we go. Now we're cooking with some. Now we're cooking with fire. There we go. Now let's go ahead and I need to probably move these areas back a little bit as well. Like that. So let's see how that looks. Okay, there we go. So just got to just play around with it and just see how that all works. And with this being said, I might end up needing to probably put in several different meshes. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. If I select inside vertices here, Control E, edge loops. Let's go back to the right just for right now. If I do that, okay, that doesn't seem to interfere with, at least for right now. So we're good. Go back in and look. Okay. All right. I see what we can do here. All right. I'm probably going to go ahead and we'll finish this up, this little top section, or at least get it topped. And I think I'm going to go ahead and probably do a cut on the episode today or right here. And we'll call this part one. And we'll continue working on it again a little bit later. So let's go ahead and finish this up. Once again, I don't want to leave y'all empty handed. And actually, I want to go ahead and delete. Whoops. Let's go ahead and delete those vertices and select this edge loop. Looks like that this actually needs to be moved down, so it doesn't seem like it interfering. It interferes a little bit with that, but we can fix that. Fix that up a little bit later. All right, we'll come back in and visit that. So if we go there, go back up to the top, and if I was to oh yeah, see this is going to be a little bit difficult. Oh no, you know what? No, nope, been it wrong. Sorry. Let's go back up to the front. Be right there. There we go. All right. Then from there, right. So if we go right there. Nope, nope. I think that's what we're wanting. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and delete all the vertices on this side. Let's go ahead and apply that mirror modifier. Add modifier, mirror. Sure the clipping's on. Yep, we got that. And I'm going to start moving all of these vertices right along that outer edge. Right about where we want, right there. Looks like that there's two outer edges, but we're just wanting just this one outer edge. Just like that. There we go. See what we're doing here? Starting to make sense. Now here, go ahead and okay, this edge goes out. Oh, okay. So we're right. This edge, whoops, this edge goes right about there. There. We're just moving everything. get in line right where we're. And this part right here just takes just a little bit of time. Just take your time and just work on it and you'll get it. All right. Um, got that. Looks like I'm going to have to add in, can't do it that way, some additional edges along there. Okay, what I went ahead and done is I got that edge all planned out and it's pretty much subdivided properly. Go in and clean up a lot of that. We'll take care of that a little bit later. All I did was all of these edges back to here and then extruded those out along here. Actually, I just did one extrude right out to here and then did Control R to add in these extra loops here. So that's, and I moved everything back so it's kind of in line. So now we can go ahead and select this outer edge and we're going to use the same method. Just hit there and find another spot, hold down Control, click the mouse again. And once again, as mentioned before, you don't want to necessarily do something like that. That might work if I go from there, it's going to try to find the path of least resistance or the shortest path. So you might want to hit along a couple of times like that. So there we go. So now we have that entire edge selected. And let's go ahead, jump into our front view. As you can see, it goes down. It kind of stair steps a little bit. So we're going to go extrude, press Z to extrude along that Z axis. And before I go any further, let me apply this modifier again. So when I do this next part and scale it, scale everything, and it's doing kind of what I would expect it to. It's out along there somewhat. I may have to scale. Where is it scaling to? Let's see. Visual, which is what. So we. Okay, so I need to scale it out that way. Actually, how would I go about it? Well, okay, no, I know how we're going to go. So let's make sure we got it where we want it. So right there, my image again, I'm using for reference, and it's going to scale out. So from there, let's do an E to extrude. Scale this all out. Now, it doesn't seem to be scaling properly along an edge for some reason. Okay, so what we can go ahead and do there is, let's go ahead and do it this way. It's not scaling right, which is what it's not doing. Let me go ahead and back out, press Control D a couple of times to get back to this top portion. And we're going to go ahead and just do one edge at a time. Select spot down along the bottom, press Control, go, and let's go ahead, extrude that down. Actually, what we could do, go ahead and go back and select all of those, extrude and Z. Now from there, do is move one of these edges individually. So let's go ahead, select all of those, and G, that out. That looks like that's going to right where we want it. Now let's select all of these edges here. G, move that out a little bit. There we go. This is working a little bit better. Now, let me look back at my reverse image here. How does this, it's still doing the same thing. It's back along, is it on the inside? Yes, it is. So I want to select all of those. And let's move my modifier. Oh, okay. Did I forget to add that already? Oh, I didn't. Probably back in there. Make sure clipping is in, back into edit mode. Now we can go ahead, that out like that. There we go. Awake. All right, now let's go ahead and select. Got that selected. Let's go ahead and Control Shift select all of those vertices again. I know we're kind of messing this up from the front, but we'll fix that in it here. Now let's go ahead and do a Control Front. Now just temporarily, I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. Eventually, we're going to put it back up to where it'll be in line with that edge. But what I want to do here, let me go ahead and move back there. Select this bottom edge again, top, and smooth that out. There we go, just right there. Now let's select that and that vertice. Let's go from the top again, actually. Select it from out now for flat. Yeah, it's flat, but it's not flat that way. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. Those. Notice that's flat. Now let's go ahead and select here, Alt A, and we'll move this back right about there. Okay, let's go ahead and move this. Let's go ahead and fix these just a little bit. And a little bit of cleanup, not too much. Always go back and do this later. What I'll be right back in just a little. Now let's go ahead and select all of these edges again. Again, Control, select, select. Back from the front. Actually, well, let's do it this way. Select all those two vertices, press S, Z, and 0 to scale that out, bring that back up, and go. There is level number 2. So let's go ahead. Let's again select all of these. Yeah, that should work. So there. Way back up to the front, back to the front. Just keep repeating this process until we stair step. All the way down into the secondary hall, which this should be the last one. Now here, same process as before. It's out. Control, but out that way, that's okay. It's out. Look like it's quite as prominent as back, so let's take a look at it. Might need to bring that down a little bit more in the back portion. Yes, we do. Yep. Let's go ahead and select all of these C's again. There we go. All right, let's take a look at it. And not bad. So we can go ahead and, just like what we did with the rest of this, we could go ahead and temporarily give it a subdivision surface modifier to see how that will look. Of course, we do a lot of cleaning up these edges, but not too bad. Let's go ahead and just delete that right now. We'll add that in later. So there it is, starting to look more and more as we go. This ship as looking like the Franklin. Now, let's finish this up. Well, not quite finished. We got to do this little Let's go into the right view. Finish up on the top at least. Got some little blocks here. Got my reference image again. Should be for the most part. Tell you what, let's just do in here. And okay. This little extra hull detail here should be pretty simple. Just select. Let's do A. Let's go ahead and put in a Q. Scale that up. Add it up right along there. Let's go into our object or data. That out along the x-axis in edit mode. Just barely. Let's see. Let's go back and look at our reference image here. Oh, that's good enough right now. Just once again, just laying in all the little basic details. Actually, let's go ahead. Actually, looks like it's doing something like this right here. Down. It's actually doing similar to that, almost kind of a stair step. So back image. Keep on the wrong thing. And if you're not 100% positive on how something looks, my personal opinion is don't be afraid to go ahead and kind of cheat on it a little bit. Put your own little flair to it and just guess. I mean, might be wrong, but how many? I doubt a whole lot of people are really actually going to notice it. You'd be surprised. There's always going to be a few out there that will definitely notice your mistakes and your flaws, and they'll definitely point it out, letting you know that, hey, you did something wrong. This is not supposed to be right. Just take it as criticism, but, also just acknowledge that, you're doing the best that you can. So don't feel too bad. Everybody gets it wrong. I mean, you're not going to get every little single detail right, especially on the first time that you start doing the ship. I know I've heard of modelers that, the first ship looks absolutely crummy and the second ship looks a little bit better. The third attempt looks remarkably, better, almost like day and night from their first model. And part of it is because, they're learning new tips and tricks while they're modeling the ship. And the other part of it is that it just comes right down to, you start to notice things on the ship as you look close. I mean, when you're first modeling it, you're not really looking that close. But you know that something's not right. So the second time you get a lot closer. I know this is all pairing with, with the window. We'll fix all that up a little bit later. Let's go ahead and go to the bottom. You know, but you always know that something's going to be a little bit off. So then you look at it again and start to notice, okay, well, this is where I made a mistake. This is where I messed up. So you back to trying to fix that issue as well. Just keep at it, keep trying to keep. This bottom portion here is most part pretty simple, and I don't know what this is, but for me, I think this is where the engineering section is actually housed at. It makes sense because your pylons seem to be kind of on into it. And for the most part, it should be relatively simple. So we can just go let's move our cursor down below. Close enough. Shift A, and we're just add in a circle. Scale it up. Let's go back already in our location, press 0 that out in the x-axis. Let's go into our edit mode. And actually, let's go out. let's see. Actually, I'm going to do similar to what we did at the top, and we're going to start from bottom way up to the top. Okay. Now, actually, with something like this, what we could do, and since I know I'm going to go ahead and put in, again, that subdivision for the gear modifier, I'm going to delete all of those. Also going to go ahead and delete those. I'm going to take this just to ensure that I have a nice straight line. I'm going to go take that vertice right to there. I can go in and just select that edge, do a Control E, and subdivide it to add in additional vertices in there. Same thing here, and actually we're going to go ahead and go right there, and see the same number of vertices along there. So subdivide. We can just do Control R. This is what I'm going to. It's just there. Control R. Let's see. I want to add in additional vertice right there because it looks like it's curving just a little bit. Go. Head. R. Try to. Oh, excuse me. All right. Try to follow that curve as best as we can. At the same time, trying to make sure that we have adjacent vertice over here that we can tie into. And when you're using Control R, you can use the mouse wheel. I don't know if you can see it. Add in additional vertices, edge loops. I'll show you when we get an edge done. Got that to that, that to that. There, that right to so that goes to that. Just a little. Let's see. So again, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and do this. So I don't have to keep going back and counting it. And what I was saying is you can Control R, and if you use mouse wheel, you can add in a lot more lines, which we're going to do eventually because we need to add in one more line to that right there. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can go ahead and select this R. Got 2, 3. These all added in. Select all those. Press F to fill. Go. Just move right where we want it to kind of give that nice little. All right. And you could go ahead and select all these vertices here. And if you hit Control V, tell it to smooth the vertex a little bit, and that would kind of help smooth it out just a little. I think I'm pretty confident in what we've done so far, so I'm not going to mess with that too much. Excuse me 1 minute. All right, now we're going to go ahead and do a Control R. Just subdivide all that. Go. And voila. Now let's go ahead, select all of these, and up along the axis. Looks like it's kind of almost following a bit of an incline. Definitely support that. Let me go ahead and move my image to the bottom reference photo that I have. So, a lot of extra detail up there as well, but once again, it looks like it's It's just as simple as the top portion here. So we got all that. So let's go ahead and apply that mirror. Apply the mirror modifier. Thing is flatten it all out. And yeah, all right. Let's go ahead, press E. Actually, let me this. It's like just me rotating it. All right, so we're gonna go. It's like once again, there's a bit of a stair step tail going in here, which you don't really see. Let me see. See it from the front. No, not terribly. But looking at the actual, it looks like there is a bit of a stair step. So let's go ahead. Well, you can see it here. And see it. So let's go ahead and press E. Strew that up. And I'm going to guess that we're at first stair step right. Let's go ahead and go back to our right. And let's do A to select all, Control N to turn those vertices out. And just like what we did with the top portion, let's go ahead, that back to the bottom, this around. It looks like that would actually work out just right. So let's go ahead, that out to there. And so once again, y'all know this entire process. We've already done this process. What did I do? The other side. So the top. So just keep it, get it right where we select all these again. Same process of what we did from the other side. The top. And to kind of also help with this, you can go ahead and start scaling some stuff down, like what I just did right there. It'll help keep everything at a time a little bit like it sticks out as much there. And last but not least, let's move each one of these out. And here we got, I'm not going to say it's tricky, but we have a little bit more way that this ball piece is shaped. Sticks out just a little bit more. Slowly work on it, said you'll get the effect that you're wanting. like right there is where we start seeing the connection points of where the pylons jump into it. And with lack of decent reference material, I'm going to just kind of guess it at this moment. But I'll look around to see if I can find any additional material that may probably kind of help me out with it. Go ahead, take a look at it. All right, said not looking too shabby. Let's look at it from the front. Almost meeting up from the front. I'm going to guess that these details here might actually be additional pylon details, but bottom portion is looking okay. Let me look it back at my images to see if I can find anything that helps me figure out on how pylons connect. Actually, it looks like they just go straight into the hull. So, go ahead and do is just select those pylons again and just actually right side image, just I think that should be connecting in right about now. Should close. Bottom. There. Let's take a look at it. And voila. Let's go ahead, select this. It's A, Control F, shade smooth. And let's not forget about doing auto smooth. And there we go. So we still got a lot of little details we got to add on. Let's see if we can go ahead and kind of do that just a little bit. So let's add it from the top again. Got these, so we can go ahead and add those in. This is going to be part of the cleaning process. And let's see, what all do I have on just this? Okay, we got a lot of stuff here. So let's go ahead and move this bottom. And just temporarily right now, let's go ahead and move this to there and move this to this layer here, move them to separate layers. Just work on this because what I need to do is clean that up just a little bit. Let's try this. I'm going to try the knife tool. I press K. We do this, or wait, I'm working on the side. Oh, I was working on the wrong side. Yep. So make sure that it connected to that vertex. Yes, it did. That worked. Let's go ahead and we'll just do that with the other areas as well. We got a little here. Let's go ahead and do that. Actually, let's go ahead and do this area. So press K. Sure it's all scaled. Let's do this area heating. Oh, and that should help kind of clear up some of this when we modeling it. Put in the subdivision surface modifier, and there is a heck of a lot more. We'll probably have to add in some extra edge loops to try to help clear up some of for these to connect to, because I don't like these called nonagons or ingons or what have you. I don't really like that. Like, don't get me wrong, it really does kind of help, but me personally, I just don't like it. So try to avoid using those as much as possible. It just almost looks like a little bit lazy, and you're not really putting a lot of thought into trying to work on the topography of your model. Once again, that's just my opinion. Results may vary. All right, there we go. And I may probably be putting the first front of the carriage at this point, but it looks like that when we're here, just to kind of finish this up, is that there are some extrusion points, and it looks like those same extrusion points are where the warp impulse engines connect to, and it looks like we can get away with just utilizing. Let's see if we look at it from the top. Let's see what we have to need to pick that or can that. Actually, I think we can get away with just this for right. Select all of those. Let's do an extrusion. Almost got away with it. Might still need to see. Can I put in? That should actually be flat, I believe. Yes, that should be flat. That shouldn't be that. Could do. See, let me try this. Right. Let's go ahead and temporarily disable that modifier. There we go. All right, now go in here, press OK. Actually, I don't think you have to select all. You don't. Now, if we go up, there we go. That gives us that extra edge. Let's see if that will work. There we go. Extrude. There we go. That's better. Just keep it right there. Let's go ahead and apply that mirror modifier again. Then we can extrude another area out here with this one, that one. Scale. There we go. And that would just be a temporary deal for the impulse engines. Let's go ahead and bring the entire model back in and take a look at it. And there we go. For the most part, I think we at least have the basic mesh all plotted out and all drawn out and everything, and ready to go ahead and start working on some of the finer details. So I'm going to go ahead and get started working on that. But as far as episodes are concerned, this episode's probably been long enough, so I'm going to go ahead and call this the end of episode 1. I apologize for the long time, but if y'all are using this as the intended purpose of the tutorial, y'all stop it, do a little work, watch it a little more, and do a little work. So long period of time shouldn't probably affect y'all too much if y'all are following along with this tutorial. So let me go ahead so we're going to go ahead and call this episode 1 and be looking forward to episode 2 in the future, where we start working on the detail. Well, either I'm probably going to actually start kind of cleaning up, because I don't want to add too many details in until I clean up this model here. I mean, by cleaning up and, just a couple of areas like right here, this should be just a little bit smoother. So I might want to probably add in an additional, said edge loop there, so I can select these here and them side and move them in a way to kind of make that a little bit more rounded. Little stuff like that, cut in a lot more of these little details here. So we'll see how far we probably go. If it's the same length episode of what we have here, this might only be 2 episodes. It could be possibly 3. But just kind of keep in touch and let me know what y'all probably think, or if there's anything that y'all want me to go over again or in closer detail. I can try to do that before I release the next episode. Maybe do it as a little supplement episode or supplement add-on to the next episode. So let me know what y'all think. Until then, this is Building the Franklin in Blender. I am B. Dan, and thank you for watching.